Today's lesson is discoveries during an annual cleaning. Hi, everybody. My name is Roger.
And I'm Mike.
And today we're talking about an annual cleaning that Lyle and Amy are doing to their home here. They're actually cleaning up their house. And this, of course, is a tradition that lots of people in Chinese communities around the world follow. It's cleaning up the house because of Chinese New Year. You want to make sure your house is nice and clean for the new year. And I suppose that's why Lyle and Amy are choosing roughly this time of year. Guonian, or Chinese New Year, is not till next month. But what the heck, January could be a good time to do some house cleaning.
Absolutely. As we get towards the end of January, you're right, Roger. Chinese New Year isn't far away. You got to sweep away all the old stuff from last year, get all your cleaning done before the holiday. You don't want to sweep away that good luck that might arrive at the beginning of the new year. So do it all then. And, of course, if we're also talking about other cultures, then we also have spring cleaning in Western countries. It might not happen quite this early. Spring cleaning is something that you might do in, I don't know, March, April, something like that, depending on where you live. As the weather warms up in the colder areas of North America or maybe Europe, people might finally be able to open their windows in April or May. The air is warm enough, and you've kind of been living inside for the better part of a few months, at least, since the beginning of the cold winter weather. And now, as the spring comes, yes, you throw the windows open, shake out those carpets, dust things that haven't been dusted in a while. So spring cleaning, whether it comes in the later spring, like in the West, or a little bit earlier, like here in Taiwan before Lunar New Year, Chinese New Year, it is kind of an annual thing. So let's see what Lyle and Amy do and discover as they embark on one of their big cleaning chores of the year. Discoveries during an annual cleaning. Living room and kitchen issues. Lyle and Amy are in the middle of their annual household cleaning. Huh, that's strange. The vacuum won't start. It was working fine in the other room, though, so I think the outlet behind the sofa isn't working.
Really? Let me check it with this lamp. Yup, no power. I'll add that to our repair list.
Yeah, we don't use this outlet very often, but we should still get it fixed.
Hey, the sink is draining really slowly. It looks like it's clogged.
Uh-oh, another item for the repair list then.
That's one thing about a thorough cleaning. It can help reveal various little problems.
Yeah, dust and dirt aren't the only things we're discovering today.
Exactly. Who knew our annual cleaning would double as a home inspection?
Well, at least we can get a lot of repairs done all at once.
大家好，第一部分介绍动词 clog， 指的是使堵塞或是阻塞。在对话中 clogged 为过去分词做形容词用，表示堵塞的。举例来说 The plumber cleared the clogged pipe. 那位水管工疏通了堵住的水管。又或者说The filter system for the swimming pool was clogged up with leaves. 游泳池的过滤系统被落叶堵住了。接着介绍形容词 thorough， 意思是仔细的或是彻底的。例如 The doctor examined my cut in a thorough way. 医生仔细地检查了我的伤口。或者 The police did a thorough investigation of the crime scene, but still found nothing. 警察对犯罪现场进行彻底的调查，但仍然一无所获。再来看到名词 inspection， 表示检查、审视或是检阅。例如 Customs officials carried out an inspection of incoming cargo. 海关官员对入境的货物进行了检查。也可以说 The quality control team performs an inspection of each product before it leaves the factory. 品质管理小组在产品离开工厂前会一个一个检查。
Okay, so here, part one is all about cleaning up the living room and the kitchen. We've got some issues or some concerns about cleaning up these particular rooms. The living room, of course, is the room where you have the TV, the sofa, and people come in there and sit around and chat or have fun together, play cards or whatever. And Lyle and Amy are in the middle of their annual household cleaning. So they've already begun their cleaning of the home. And so we're catching them in the middle of their conversation. And here Lyle is trying to start the vacuum cleaner. That's a special appliance that you use to suck up the dust from the carpet or from the floor. That's part of annual cleaning. You could also sweep and mop the floor if you don't have a vacuum cleaner. And he says, that's strange. The vacuum won't start. Okay, so a vacuum cleaner, of course, is an electric appliance. It needs electricity. And, of course, you need to start the vacuum cleaner. You just push the on button or whatever. But here he thinks there's something wrong with it. Hey, it won't start. It was working fine in the other room, though. So I think the outlet behind the sofa isn't working. So, yes, he could use it in the other room. It worked fine there, but it's not working here in the living room. So I guess that means that there's something wrong with the outlet. The outlet, sometimes actually called the plug. That's where you plug the cord into the two little slots on the wall. My goodness, there are all sorts of different formats all over the world. But here in Taiwan, I think the format is similar or exactly the same as it is in North America.
All right, so that's a bit of a serious problem. If they can't get power to the vacuum cleaner, well, it'll definitely make it hard to clean at least this part of the apartment. So what's going on here? Amy says, really? She's never noticed that this outlet wasn't working, so that's kind of news and not great news. So she says, let me check it with this lamp. Always a good idea to make sure things don't work. Double check them, before you're absolutely certain. So what does she do? She plugs the lamp in and finds that it also won't turn on. She finds another piece of equipment that should use power, like a lamp, just like the vacuum cleaner, plug it in, and still no luck. Yes, I guess that means that either the outlet is broken or both the lamp and the vacuum cleaner broke at the same time, which seems unlikely. So, yep, the outlet is the culprit. Nope, no power, she says. I'll add that to our repair list. So they're going to have to fix that outlet if they want to use it, because currently it does not seem to be delivering the electricity they would want and need from it. Lyle says, yeah, we don't use this outlet very often, but we should still get it fixed. Yeah, absolutely. Even if you're not using the outlet, they don't actually have many things plugged in that corner of the living room or whatever, but they should still get it fixed. Well, when it comes to fixing electricity, it's often best to call in a professional if you don't know exactly what you're doing, because, of course, electricity can be dangerous. And having an outlet that even if you don't use that's broken, I suppose that could be dangerous. You can get short circuits, sparks could come flying out in the middle of the night and start a fire or something like that. So definitely something they will want to have someone come and fix for them. Now let's move on to the kitchen. So it says Amy, after moving on to the kitchen. Now we're in the kitchen, and here's another problem. Hey, the sink is draining really slowly. I guess they'd just washed some dishes or filled up the sink to use the water in there, and she notices the water is disappearing, is going down that hole, the plug hole or the drain, really slowly. So she says it looks like it's clogged. Yeah, I think everyone's experienced this. Maybe in your kitchen sink, possibly in your bathroom, food, hair. In the case of the bathroom, it kind of goes down there. It collects over many months or even years. And then eventually it basically stops working, or it becomes very, very slow to work. It's kind of being choked off. It used to be a few centimeters across, and now it's just a few millimeters across. So the water takes a long time to drain, and in that situation, we would say it's clogged. When we say something's plugged, it's very similar, but you might plug something on purpose. Like if you're washing your face, you might use a plug or plug the drain in the sink to allow the bowl to fill. But if it's something that kind of happens and it's not something you want to happen, then it's clogged. And actually that matter that we find down there, the hair, the grease, or the food, we can also call that the clog. I pulled the clog out. It was a clog of hair or something like that.
Indeed. So that happens sometimes. Sometimes things get washed down the drain and they get stuck in that little curved portion there of the pipe that goes out from your sink there. So it's clogged. There's some stuff in there. I think you can probably remove that curved pipe and maybe clean it out. That might help out. But I don't think they know quite exactly how to do this, so they might require the services of a plumber to help them out. So Lyle says, uh-oh, another item for the repair list then. So now they've got a couple of items on their repair list. They need to fix that outlet in the living room so that they can use the vacuum in there. And now they need to fix the sink because it's clogged. And here's what Amy says. She says, that's one thing about a thorough cleaning. It can help reveal various little problems that you didn't know about before. So yes, indeed, they have a thorough cleaning. If something's thorough, it's complete. It includes all sorts of things, pretty much everything. It includes every detail. So they're cleaning basically everything. They're dusting off the furniture. They're vacuuming the floor. They're polishing the furniture. It's a thorough cleaning, and it can help reveal those little problems. Indeed, we probably can find some problems that we didn't know we had.
Absolutely. As they move things around and plug things in and check things out carefully, they will definitely notice things that need to be fixed. So Lyle laughs at this observation that, yeah, we started off just trying to clean things, and now we have a long list of things that are broken and need to be repaired. He says, yeah, dust and dirt aren't the only things we're discovering today. You would expect to find dust and dirt while you're cleaning. That's, in fact, why you're cleaning, to find that dust and dirt and get rid of. But, yes, you might find other things. This is loose. That needs to be tightened. This is broken. That's getting worn out. This needs some more paint or whatever as you move around the apartment. Amy says, exactly. Who knew our annual cleaning would double as a home inspection? That's a good side benefit of this. I mean, they're cleaning in order to have a clean house, to make their guests feel comfortable if they're asking people over in a week or two for Chinese New Year. But it's also doubling. It's also doing the same job. So if something doubles as something else, it does the same job. So a lot of people here might leave home with an umbrella. You can use it to protect your head from the rain, and it also doubles as protection from the sun on a really sunny day. Using the same thing, you're kind of doing two jobs, or by doing one action, you're taking care of two items or two chores. So their annual cleaning is also serving as, or doubling as, a home inspection. When you inspect something, you look at something very, very carefully. You're not just glancing at it, you're looking at it from all sides, you're picking it up, you're thinking about it from many different ways. This is the kind of thing that managers might do at the end of the day around the store, walk around. It might be something teachers will do when they're making sure the students in the classroom have their desks clean and things like that. Open your desk, make sure there's no gum or candy hiding in there or something like that. So an inspection is basically looking over things to make sure that there are no problems, not even minor ones, will escape their attention.
Here, Lyle says, well, at least we can get a lot of repairs done all at once. So they're killing two birds with one stone here. They're not only cleaning up their apartment, but they're also finding some problems there, and they'll get those repairs done in the future when they contact an electrician or a plumber or maybe a carpenter, who knows. Okay, that brings us to the end of part 1. Let's move on now to part 2 and have some problems with the bedroom and the bathroom.
Bedroom and bathroom problems. After finishing in the kitchen, they head to the bedroom. Lyle flips the light switch, but nothing happens. What the? Unbelievable. It looks like this light switch is broken now too.
No way! Let me check it with a new bulb.
Well, I think that settles it. Let's put it on the list.
When it rains, it pours, huh?
Speaking of pouring, look here. This faucet is leaking again.
Oh yeah, I thought I heard it dripping last night. That should definitely go on the list too then.
This is getting kind of ridiculous. We started the day just planning to do some dusting and scrubbing, but now we've got a bunch of repairs to deal with too.
Well, on the bright side, the house will be better for it once we're done.
That's true. Who knew a little cleaning could be so productive?
Yeah, it feels good to check more than just the cleaning off our list.
第二部分看到动词 flip， 它的意思是快速按下按钮或是开关。例如 Amber flipped the light switch and the whole room lit up. Amber 快速按下电灯开关，整个房间亮了起来。或是 I accidentally flipped the wrong button and reset the whole machine. 我不小心按错了按钮，把整台机器重置了。另外 flip 也有使翻转或是用拇指来弹或是直的意思。例如 Voters in this district flipped the seat from one party to the other. 这个选区的选民把该席位从一个政党翻转到另一个政党。再看一个例句 Alex couldn't choose what to order, so he flipped a coin and let fate decide. Alex 选不出要点什么，所以就投掷硬币让命运决定。再来介绍形容词 unbelievable 表示令人难以置信的。例如 The story he told was so unbelievable that no one took him seriously. 他讲的故事太离谱了，没有人认真看待他。也可以说 The basketball player made an unbelievable play. 该篮球选手玩了令人难以置信的一招。最后看到形容词 productive 表示富有成效的、有生产力的或是多产的。例如 Time management techniques can help people become more productive. 时间管理技巧可以帮助人们变得更有生产力。最后一个例句 Bruce had a productive day at work and managed to finish early. Bruce 今天工作很有效率，所以得以提早下班。
All right, we are back. It says, after finishing in the kitchen, they head to the bedroom. Lyle flips the light switch, but nothing happens. Oh, dear. They're kind of finding some problems with the electrical system. The light didn't go on. So, of course, it could be, and I would say hopefully is, just a broken light bulb. That is easily fixed and repaired. But it could also be some electrical problem with the switch or the light fixture itself. So he's not too happy to discover this problem to add to their list.
Yep, he flips the light switch, which means he activates the switch on the wall to turn it on. Flip could also mean you kind of spin a circle in the air. For example, if you go to a swimming pool and you jump off the diving board, you might do a flip in the air. That can be a lot of fun. But here he flips the light switch and nothing happens. The light does not come on. And Lyle says, "What the?" He flips the switch a few more times. He says, "Unbelievable. I can't believe this. It looks like this light switch is broken now, too." So I guess they can have the electrician come over and look at that as well, too. It's a light switch that doesn't work. It's broken. And Amy says, "No way. I can't believe it. That's unbelievable. How could that happen? Let me check it with a new bulb." Okay, so again, he flips the switch for a light here. And of course, it's some kind of appliance here, maybe a lamp or something like that. So, of course, lamps use bulbs, a light bulb. And she screws it in because you need to move it in the same direction as you would a screw. So she screws it in. But hey, it won't work.
That is frustrating. Lyle says, well, I think that settles it. Let's put it on the list of broken things in their apartment, along with that broken outlet and the clogged sink in the kitchen that they discovered in Dialogue 1. This settles it. The light also needs to be fixed. It's on the list of things that need to be repaired. If something settles something, that kind of makes your final decision for you. You might say, well, I've settled it. I'm going to do this. But often it's some kind of outside force or outside event that makes it easy for you to decide, to finally make your final choice. Oh, look, it's raining outside. That settles it. Let's stay home and watch a movie, right? You might have been talking about going to the park or going walking or going to the beach or whatever. Well, no, that settles it. That makes our decision very easy, makes it very clear what the right decision will be. It's raining. We stay inside. That settles it. Since the light bulb doesn't work and the switch doesn't work, the light must be broken. It's on the list of things to be repaired. Amy is getting a little frustrated with all of this news, all of these things they're discovering. That's the sound she makes when she sighs. To sigh is to sort of let that air out with a little noise, often because you're exasperated or frustrated or just tired of this unpleasant situation. And then she says, when it rains, it pours, huh? This is a very common expression in English, kind of saying when you get one problem, you soon discover that you have many problems. So to rain is to have a little bit of liquid or water, of course, falling from the sky. Pour is a heavy rainstorm. So when it starts to rain a little bit, you might obviously expect it to start getting a little bit heavier, for the rain to come with more and more intensity soon after. So don't just think that the first few drops, that's it, it'll go away. Be prepared for the worst, or be prepared for the situation to get worse, as it seems to be in their apartment.
Right, so when something pours, of course, a lot of water comes out from a container, like a pitcher when you're pouring a glass of water. So Lyle goes into the bathroom and he says, well, speaking of pouring, since you mentioned the word pouring there, look here, this faucet is leaking again. Of course, the faucet is that little pipe that sticks out over the sink there. We call it a faucet. In North America, I think in the UK they say the tap, but here the faucet is leaking again. Water is coming out from the sides, so they need to have that repaired. And Amy says, oh yeah, I thought I heard it dripping last night. Drip, drip, drip. That's what dripping is. You hear that little sound of drops of water coming out from a leak. And she goes on to say that should definitely go on the list too. So they're making this list. They're writing these things down of all the repairs that they need to have done in the apartment or in the house. Definitely means 100% it needs to go on the list. Yeah, we can't live with a dripping faucet because it will not only waste water, but it will keep us up at night.
Yeah, Lyle is also getting frustrated. He says this is getting kind of ridiculous. All of these things that they're finding that are broken, they just want it to do some dusting and vacuuming, and they're finding that half their apartment needs to be fixed. So it's ridiculous. Something that's ridiculous is something that might make you laugh. It might make you feel a little bit annoyed, possibly. It's very silly almost. So he's not really saying it's silly. These are serious things that they're going to have to get fixed. But the situation that they're in, we tried to clean, and now we're fixing half the apartment. It's very silly. It's almost something I would laugh at if it was a comedy movie. So ridiculous can be something that is worth a good chuckle, a good laugh, but it also could be something that's a little bit pushing your patience a little bit. If your friend has too many glasses of wine at a wedding and starts dancing like a monkey, you'd say, hey, stop it. You look ridiculous. You look too silly for the situation, and you're kind of embarrassing. So this is getting a little bit silly. It's not really funny anymore. We started the day just planning to do some dusting and scrubbing, but now we've got a bunch of repairs to deal with too. It's almost like someone is playing a bad joke on us.
And Amy says, well, on the bright side, let's be optimistic here. The house will be better for it once we're done. So we should be thankful that we have these problems now because we can have them repaired and we won't need to worry about them for quite some time. Lyle says, that's true. Who knew a little cleaning could be so productive? If you're productive, of course, you have a lot of results. You work and you get results from that work. It's worth it. And Amy says, yeah, it feels good to check more than just the cleaning off our list. So it looks like they've had a successful session in cleaning, and we can't wait to follow them clean the apartment again next year. And that brings us to the end of our explanation, except for Hanny. Let's listen to her.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。在课文第一部分的对话里， Amy 说了一句 Who knew our annual cleaning would double as a home inspection? 谁知道我们的年度大扫除还能兼做房屋检查呢？好，这边的 double as 就是表达兼做，同时充当什么什么。至于 inspection 这个名词，它有检查、审视或者是检阅的意思。它是来自动词 inspect， 我们这边补充它的字首字根。好，先看到字根 spect 或者是拼作 spec， 它有看、看见或查看的意思。那么在 inspect 这个字当中，字首 in 表示往内， spect 表示看，合在一起往里面仔细的看，应该可以联想到 inspect 有检视、检验或审查的意思。这通常是指说为了找出是否有错误或问题而仔细检查。好，顺便补充几个有相同字根的单字。第一个是prospect， 它的字首 pro 表示向前，字根 spect 表示看。当我们向前看，看向远方时，就会看到景色嘛，所以 prospect 它可以指具体的景象、景色，尤其是指从高处所看到的景色。那它也有抽象的含义，可以表达前景、展望的意思。 第二个补充的是 suspect， 它的字首 sus 是来自 sub， 表示在下方，字根 spect 表示观看，那在底下偷偷观察偷偷的看，那就表示不信任咯。所以 suspect 这个字当形容词可以表达可疑的不可信的，当名词可以表达嫌疑犯，当动词念作 suspect 可以表达怀疑猜疑的意思。好，那第三个补充 expect， 它是由字首 ex 表示向外和 spect 组合而成，只是因为 ex 的尾音 x 和它 spect 的 s 开头这个发音产生的同化现象。好，那么字首 ex 刚刚说向外，字根 spect 表示看，我们就可以用向外看，期待着某人某事物的到来，用这个画面去联想 expect， 它有期待、期望、预期的意思。而在课文第二部分的对话里，我们看到 Amy 他们打扫完厨房后走向卧室，文中是用 head to the bedroom 来表达走向卧室。那么 head 当动词有前往、朝着点点点前进的意思，后面可以接介系词或副词，像我们就可以用 head to 或者是 head for 加上名词来表达前往某地，还可以用 head back 表达回去， head home 回家， head north 朝北方前进等等。好，我们这边造两个例句。They left the restaurant and headed for the movie theater. 他们离开餐厅并前往电影院。He headed back to the office after lunch. 他吃完午餐后就回办公室了。好，那以上是今天的重点整理，我们回顾今天的单字吧。
Thorough. A thorough review of Robert's report for history class revealed several errors. Inspection.Regular inspections of the machines help prevent accidents by finding problems like broken parts. Flip.
As the audience's attention was focused on the coin, the magician quickly flipped the card over.
Definitely. I think Audrey would be a good fit, but Tara thinks she's definitely not right for the job. Ridiculous. The idea of walking all the way to school in this heat is ridiculous. Productive.If you want to be productive at work tomorrow, you should try to get some sleep. Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of our program, so please make sure you join us again next time. For all of us here, I am Mike.
I am Roger. See you next time.